Hi, my name is Soile, and you're listening to Heartland, a fan podcast from a fan perspective. Welcome back to the podcast. Today is rather exciting day, or well, I'm filming this on Tuesday. You're listening this on Saturday or later. You already know what's happened. They've officially announced season 18, and they've actually been filming for a few days now. So today we're going to do the classic predictions episode before they actually start filming. Wow, this is in the past, so they haven't really posted anything yet. So that is the reason why I wanted to do this episode right now, because it's all still, predictions. It's all speculating and just throwing around ideas. There's nothing really certain about the season yet. So it's all just pure in that way. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sort of bummed whenever they announce the season when they have their first day of filming. I get that it's exciting to be on set and announce that the season is a go, but at the same time, is really not it for the fans because, well, I can only speak for myself, but I feel like I rather have something to look forward to and sort of count down the days or build that excitement toward the new season. But I feel like now it's kind of like, well, the season is already happening. So it's kind of like, yay, and then that's it. I mean, at this point, I've known that season 18 is happening because of other sources, reliable sources, but it's also always a bit of a bummer because even though I could post my sources, people wouldn't believe me because it's not Amber saying it. So I kind of try to keep it kind of low profile, even though I know. And in that way, I sort of had the countdown going on. But then it's not like collective countdown, if you know what I mean, because every time I would post like, oh, it's just a week away, it's like, well, Amber hasn't said anything, so it can't be true. And actually, it wasn't Amber announcing the new season this year, so some people still might not believe that it's happening because it was Michael Weinberg and the Spencer twins. So, yeah, believe what you will, but I always trust reliable sources, whether that's Amber or not. Anyways, why don't we get going and start with your comments, your predictions for the future season. So, let's go. Dip said, as season 17 ended, Jack gave a pep talk slash plea asking everyone to pull together to save Heartland beef. I expect the beef wars to extend throughout the season. Nathan and Amy will probably grow increasingly closer as well. I'm hoping to see Amy forced to navigate her divided loyalties as it will make for good drama. I would also like to see substantial storylines between Amy and Katie and Lou and Lindy. Georgie had a well-defined relationship with both her mother and her aunt. I know that the seasons are short now, but Katie and Lindy deserve strong bonds with their aunts also. Other than that, I am just looking forward to seeing all the main characters busy. Lisa could either help or tangle with Jessica. Will Caleb interfere with Amy connecting with Nathan? I would enjoy hearing Peter's take on Nathan. If he likes him, would he give him advice on dealing with Jack and Tim? Will Rick want Lou's help or advice so that we can see him this season? I'm looking forward to seeing what the writers have come up with. Then Mars said, I'd like to see Lindy actually ask Amy about her dad and address the circumstances of his death, not random inserts by Amy about her memories of Ty. Lindy was present for it and there would have been some trauma to work through and that seemed to be glossed over. I would like to see Tim exit the ranch or he and Jessica build their own place on the ranch and Amy and Lindy move back in the loft. It's been long enough now to go back and settle into their own family quarters. Lindy needs more storyline inserted. Amy needs to develop a mature relationship. Nathan? Question mark. More Jack and Lisa doing ranch work together, cattle business, and horse business. I also think the audience needs to see more Lou and Peter proving you can make a do-over work or break them up for good because of same old patterns. Lou is a strong woman. She doesn't need a crutch. Caleb needs to either settle in with being single dad or work on career or fall in or fall in the well permanently. I can't see him and Amy romantically. Other than a friend of the family or hired help, not sure how prominent his character is anymore. Amy needs a real girlfriend to walk through rest of life with. I like to see a new character introduced with some substance slash good storyline. Then Sharon said, I'd like to see Scott or his new vet partner. Maybe one of the villains like Val or even Ahmed, just to shake things up. Would like to see Tim's backstory. More of Katie, Ellie, and Brandon. Of course, Lou and Amy. Then S. Gurur said, I'd like to see more of Lindy. Then Barbara said, Amy talking to Lindy about Ty and the things he did to help her with the horses, keep Ty's memories in the show. I know Ty is not coming back, but all kids should know about their mom and dads. Then Tai Tai Mama said, like to see more of Amy and Lindy being together and working with horses and keeping to Lindy about how great her dad was with her. Then Thomas said, I want to see Lindy and her mother Amy working together more, and Amy, like her mother, happily moving on as a single mother and devoting her life to raising her and Ty's sweet daughter Lindy. Then Lisa again forever said, I would like to see more Katie and Tim scenes. It would be fantastic to have Jade back and helping Tim with the rodeo school. Really enjoyed seeing Lou's vulnerable side last season and hope we see more. Tim and Jessica's loft scenes are always a pleasure to watch. Nathan is still a bit too perfect for me. I need more flaws. All in all, I was happy with season 17 and hope season 18 continues on the same path. Then Chris Tim Heartland said, I want to see Amy be in a mature relationship with a man she can rely on, who's there for her. Lindy deserves a playful and loving father whom she can connect with. I want to see Lou more involved with Heartland Beef and finally be content with her choices in life and where she is. I want her to be appreciated by her family. I want to see her and Jessica and Lisa become close friends. I want more Tim and Katie scenes. Their bonding was amazing in the previous season. And maybe Katie dating or having her first kiss. More Tim and Jessica, of course. They are so cute and adorable together. I want to see Jack doing something nice for Lisa. Maybe upgrade the fishing cabin or something. I want to see a lot of outside scenes. Cattle drive, Dude Ranch, rodeo school, riding. Then Yo Dudette said, would love to see Amy and Lindy on an adventure together. Amy and Katie scenes, Amy and Lisa scenes, Lou, Katie, and Peter scenes. Then Mike Tempe said, I always hope for more Jesus scenes. More than 5 out of 10 episodes. We need Lisa in all of them. Then Kim said, I want to see what the future holds for Heartland Beef. I think there is gonna be lots of drama with Amy and Nathan and the family, of course. Of course, Amy, Lindy, and horses. Wouldn't mind seeing more of Shane, Mallory, and Jake. I know I'm gonna get a lot of haters for this, but I would love if Amy ends up with Caleb. There, I said it. Then HL Horses said, I'd like to see some forward movement with Amy and Nathan, and more with the cattle business and the faith of that. This would be the 18th season, so at this point, I just go with the flow on stories. Then Jack said, I hope to see Amy talking to Lindy more about her dad and what he was like, them spending more time together. Less of Tim and Jessica, I'd probably get slammed for that too. Then Heartland Lisa BFC said, I want to see Amy getting some action again. She deserves a real man in her life. Would love to see them expand on Lou's storyline from last season, delving into her past and her struggles. But can't see that happening. Also seeing Lou get more involved in the business at home, pushing Heartland Beef forward. Katie growing up and perhaps dating and showing more interest in relationship like a regular teenager of her age. More Giza. What would also be good Knowing Mayor Rick isn't from a ranching background, it would be good to see some mayoral conflict, which then makes him have to spend the day with Jack and Tim on a cattle drive, etc. Would help him connect more with his people and also offer potential for fun too. Having Lou then do a bit of a "I told you so" to Rick on how much hard work goes into ranching, ending in them reconnecting as friends more. We know Caleb will be back, that's obvious, but sort of wish he wasn't, as struggling to see what the character offers these days. Sending him off to be close to his son seemed right. Then Smoking Holster said, I'm actually not sure what I'd like to see for season 18, and I know from past seasons that things said in one season may not be mentioned at all in the next, especially when they started down the 10 episode path. I know one thing that'll happen that will piss me off, and that's Caleb coming back and getting in between Amy and Nathan, and only because the writers don't seem to be able to leave two people be and grow as a couple. I'd like to see Amy and Nathan supporting each other. I'm kind of hoping that Amy smacks Caleb or tells him off or something along those lines, but that probably won't happen along with actually finding out what happened between Cass and him to break them up, which is something else I'd love to know in the next season. It would be nice to see Amy spending more time with Lindy and to see Amy actually working with horses on a regular basis, possibly some rescues or anything that would convince me that she's actually busy like in the earlier seasons. Seems that these days the whole idea that Heartland had become a horse ranch is a distant memory. She's now apparently the last person the show's actually about. It's about cattle and Heartland beef, Lou and making Nathan a villain, or claiming him for all of Jack and Tim's business problems. Nathan's outbidding Heartland for land, or a bull, doesn't make him a bad person, especially knowing how frugal Jack and Tim can be. Personally, I couldn't care less about Heartland Beef, which seems the storyline just there to trash Nathan and throw Amy into a turmoil and stuck in the middle. It'll probably put her at odds with everyone. I'd love to see Georgie come back, but I'm pretty sure that won't happen since I think they've basically trashed her storyline altogether, and I doubt Alicia wants back in. Some realistic storyline about Jack's health and age would be nice, only because it's pretty much a joke at this point. I guess it's a problem when you start a show and it ends up going on for over a decade to almost two, and you really don't want to deal with the reality that Krampus' age has painted you into a corner. Maybe leave out the trampled into a chute by a prong parts since a miraculous recovery is almost impossible. That's just me again. I'd love to see some of the women on the show actually get together as friends, business partners, or anything along those lines. Maybe leave Lou out of this one, since the last time she and a family member got together like this, it hardly worked out. I've always dreamed of Lisa and Amy doing something with Fairfield, but as I said before, that storyline started in one season, just simply disappeared. As for me, I feel like I don't really have a lot of predictions or even wishes because I feel like every time I do have something in mind, it doesn't end up happening. But I have few things that I think might happen or I hope would happen. One is definitely that I would love to see more of Amy developing a relationship with Nathan. It doesn't have to be like quick thing, but more like slow burn of sorts. It will be interesting to see the relationship between a cowgirl and a cowboy like this, because I feel like whenever there's a pairing, romantic pairing, it's always like one of them is a city folk and the other one is country and all that. So I would love to see what kind of dynamic that creates, because Nathan knows Hudson because it has been his home in the past and it is his home now. And then he knows horses. He's very talented with riding and all that kind of stuff, like working with the horses. Amy obviously knows different things and could teach him a couple of things as well. So I would really love to see them working together in some capacity. I don't know how or what exactly I'm looking for, but I feel like when I see it and it's good, that's good. Then I noticed last season they didn't really have a lot of scenes with Lindy, and because of what was going on with Amy's storyline, I sort of understand why she had to take a step back a little bit. I did like whenever they had scenes where Lindy and Nathan connected, especially through Molly, because it seems such a natural way and not forced at all. And he seemed to be good with her, and she didn't seem to mind him as well. So I think it was a good first introduction between these characters, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that as well. As for Lou, I feel like this could kind of connect with Jack's storyline. I would like to see Jack take a step back a little bit because of his age, and Lou sort of stepping in more, and that would sort of kill two birds with one stone. I feel like it would kind of be full circle moment for Lou, because she always thought that her life was outside of Heartland, and in a way it was to some degree. But I feel like when you think about the setting of the show, it would be interesting to sort of see that she can really use all of her skills and connections when working with Heartland Beef. And not only that, she would get to work with Tim, which would be kind of a nice story arc when you think about the show overall, having episode 1 where Tim has been gone for a long time and her reaching out to him because of Marion's death, and now them working together. And they do kind of share a similar approach to business, but I could see there being some kind of conflict, so it would create more trauma naturally. And then Jack, I would like to see a realistic storyline about him really accepting that he is getting older, that he can't do it all. I feel like that is something that could be really beautiful storyline, and I think a lot of people could relate. The audience varies from young children to elderly people. So I think they really should go forward with that one, because, no one lives forever. And at some point, you just have to admit that you are getting older, and that's just something that you have to learn to live with. And it doesn't have to be bad. So maybe something like that. As for Lisa, obviously, anything to do with Lisa, more Lisa focused storylines. I don't know, like just anything that would allow her to have more room in the show. So I'm good with anything at this point, honestly. Also, going back to Tim a little bit, someone said, I think it was Sharon, that they would like to see more of Tim's storyline. And I totally agree, especially when I was trying to think storylines I would love to see Jessica have. I don't really know, like obviously maybe like her arranging courses for photographers or something like that. But then if there would be a big storyline with Tim's background, and I'm not talking about Shane because I feel like they handled that well last season, but I'm talking like really like past, maybe his parents or anything like anything. I would like to see how they would navigate that together and how it would help Tim develop even more, and then also allow us to see Jessica in different situations and them sort of building a stronger branch as a couple, because I feel like every couple sort of branches out from the family, but they still have the same roots. Lou and Peter, I don't know that it's actually ever gonna like fully truly happen, or if there's ever gonna be anything like substantial anymore. So I'm not really thinking that'll happen, but I'll welcome it, even though they're not my favorite pairing or anything. But it would be nice to see Peter and Lou and Katie as a family, because we always got to see, Georgie with her parents. And obviously, when Katie was little, we got to see them together as well. But now that she's more grown up and she has more of a personality in her own life and all that kind of stuff, it would be nice to see how that would work between the three of them. Who else? Who else? Yeah, Caleb will be back. Not sure what he could add to the show, honestly, at this point, but we'll see. Also, someone mentioned having a new vet, which just I found myself getting really inspired by that thought. I don't think we will see Scott that much anymore. You know, Nathaniel Arkand is very high demand, it seems. So if we don't get to see Scott and Cass is out, Ty is out, I would like to see someone who sort of steps in to replace Cass to some degree. Maybe doesn't become a partner just yet, but that way allowing us to see more of the vet side of things again. And also maybe that would be like a single mother, or maybe just a mother of a young child, maybe offer a friendship for Amy, someone who is sort of going through the same things, and then maybe we could have storylines with Amy and the new vet working together, maybe include Nathan in that sometimes as well. I don't know, but I just found myself getting really excited about the possibility of having a vet around again. I think that really adds to the show. Like, there's only so much Amy can do, and you can only do so many off-screen vet appearances, like, oh, Scott came by and checked him out and he's fine and all that. Gets kind of boring after a while. So I wouldn't mind seeing more vet storylines, because even though what Amy does is great and magical and all the good things, I do think that the vet side of things adds another layer to healing horses again, and I've missed that. And yeah, maybe that could be something they could do. And please hire someone who is local, because then they don't have to struggle with the cast availability, which seems to be the problem with some of the cast members. So yeah, I'm sure you can find a great actor from Alberta as well. And yeah, someone mentioned Jade coming back as well. Like, obviously, we don't know that she would, but now that Caleb is out, then again, he is back again. But let's pretend he is out of the rodeo business. It would be nice to see Jade step in and show what she's learned and what she could bring in to the whole thing, and help lead the next generation of rodeo students to the next level. And also, I think she, as a character, is someone who is so adaptable. You can really write in stories that are gonna crazy, or where people make mistakes but then end up learning something, because she is not perfect. She's very flawed. I love that about her. So I think she would be a great addition to the rodeo scene again. I really miss her. She was my favorite character, so obviously I'm a little biased, but you know, just throwing that out there. But yeah, I think those are some of my ideas. I don't know that any of these will actually happen, but you know, it's fun to speculate, and that's what the show is all about. Thanks for listening and tuning in and commenting and doing all the good stuff. I really appreciate you guys, and the response to the previous episode and me coming back. So thank you for that. And again, keep your noses clean and your powder dry, as they say. See you next week. Bye.